So what did I think about Mike Epps talking about black wealth and white wealth in Hollywood, and what was his take on it? I usually kind of go either way on Mike Epps because he's one of those guys that sometimes he makes some points and sometimes he just sounds like he's off the wall. Certain things he said, I've been kind of like whatever. But he made a good point about what he said. He says they give you the money so you can look like a king and queen in black world, but they don't want you towering in their world. And I remember an old quote he once said about Michael Jackson. He said you couldn't get no bigger than Michael, and he said he wasn't invited to their table. And I always remember that comment he said about Michael Jackson. But what he was saying is, look at Diddy, look at R. Kelly, look at Suge Knight, look at Bill Cosby, look at prominent African American figures. You know, if they don't want getting too close for comfort, they pay you a certain money to look big in a certain, because you're never invited to really merge that money. You're given stipends, but you're never allowed to merge. So when he talked about black wealth, white wealth, especially in Hollywood, I thought it was truth because you never hear about, Tyler Perry has the studios and stuff, but it's not like he can just franchise that out and compete with what the big wigs are doing because he had to get the money. And again, they control, there is no share. As big as the talent is, you don't share in the net of the worth. You get a fraction, but you don't get the totality. So there is a difference. It's like when you look at sports franchises, people talk about how much players get, but the owners is making the bag. I mean, as big as Patrick Mahomes is, he'll never get close to the owner like that. LeBron James will never get close to the owners like that. You see it in different sports, different things, but it's the same thing. It's done to have you flex in your community. But in the big picture, you don't own what they're putting down. So you have to learn these hard lessons. And I do agree with what his philosophy was with that perspective because it's true. It's a flex, but you don't have the say with what, and you don't have to get the game to play the same stakes. He's very much making a very accurate point about that because it's often than not, you see people who flaunt what they got, but again, that's peanuts on the dollar. As big as Tupac was or Biggie, what have you, all that money that was made, you could put all the money that Pac made with Suge Knight's money, and you could put all the money that Biggie made with Diddy's money. And if the guy says that you're worth hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, how much do you think they're worth? See? And that's the reality that doesn't get talked about near enough because it's just window dressing in a boutique. You don't really share in the half of what they give you. They use you, they use you up, and they use a way of what they're saying, And he's right. It's not the same. It's like when I read that thing about Ice-T, about how he has to take a pay cut for a co-star and they're cutting his scenes out. Well, think about this. As long as he's been around, that don't even sound right. And it's a matter of who you take care of and who you want to take care of too. So it goes hand in hand. But he definitely made a legit remark about that because generational wealth and how you, and when it came out to Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson actually took it upon himself to buy the publishing and have his masters. That was some big money. That wasn't just, that was one of the rare instances where you actually bought into something. But even that, he still wasn't generated or considered a billionaire. His name and what he's meant for others, but what they actually pay you, because I still remember when Thrillin' Bad, when I saw the sales for all that, and what he actually got, there are no equal partners, and there is a big gap, and that's the plantation mindset, just letting you know. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another, and share the video if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. And he also talked about if he's in movies with white actors, there's more money. He just keeping it 100 because they don't get the same budget. And we still talk the same thing. I'm out.